This is the Wigan branch of the Leeds-Liverpool canal, and it cuts away from the Leeds-Liverpool canal and travels towards Lee, and it's met at Lee by the Lee branch of the Bridgewater Canal, or the original cutting of the Bridgewater Canal. If you remember from my Bridgewater Canal video, we stop at the Packet House at Worsley, and that's where the Bridgewater Canal would have ended back then, but it was extended towards Lee. And when they built the Leeds-Liverpool canal, they decided, well, we should extend out towards Lee as well. And that meant that the coal that they dug could go east or west, depending on where it needed to go. Let's not forget that both these canals were dug to move coal. The Leeds-Liverpool and the Bridgewater were both dug to move coal from this area. So I think we should go and have a look where they dug some coal up. To the bonk. Let's bimble. This is the bonk, or as I would like to call it, the bog. It's very muddy, and there's not a lot to see, and it's a bit of a hole. I don't like to get political on my bimbles, but Wigan Council need to have a good look at the bonk and actually do something with it, because it's a bit of a mess at the moment. But what is the bonk? The bonk is the site of the old Goulburn coal mine, and the first shaft was dug here in 1860 to a depth of 150 yards, and they were digging coal out of something called the Lower Florida Seam. That's at the very bottom of the Lancashire coalfields, and it stretches all the way from Francis Egerton's Worsley Delph, which we bimbled to in the Bridgewater Canal video, underneath here in Goulburn, and all the way to St Helens, to the Elton Head family's mine, which we've also covered in a bimble along the Sankey Canal. Another two shafts were dug here at Goulburn. Shaft number 2 was dug in 1880 to a depth of 600 yards. And then in 1902, they dug shaft number 3 to the same depth. 600 yards might not seem like such a deep mine, but once they got down to 600 yards, they dug out horizontally for miles and miles around. In fact, in the 1970s, when the National Coal Board took over all the coal mines, they stopped bringing up coal to the surface up shaft number 3 here in Goulburn, and sent it to a place called Bikeshore coal mine, which is 4 miles away. They'd actually dug so far horizontally that the two mines are met up, and it was easier just to haul all the coal underneath the ground to Bikeshore and bring it up to the surface there. It was during the 1970s, when the National Coal Board took over everything, that they had an accident here at the Goulburn coal mine. In 1979, a tiny little electric spark ignited some of the methane. They're still siphoning off methane here, And that's really the only signs that there was a coal mine here on the Bunk. There were only 11 men down the mine that day, but unfortunately 10 of those 11 men died. And to look on the bright side, if there is one, they were quite lucky that only a few men were down there. There were 766 men working here at Goulburn Coal Mine, but only 11 men in that part of the mine on that day. In the 1980s, the Conservative government closed most of the mines, and those 766 men lost their jobs, became unemployed or had to find other work. And the digging of the coal actually brought people to Goulburn, and that's where it gets the name the Bonk. If you know anything about coal mining, it attracts Welshmen, and lots of Welsh families came here to dig the coal out at Goulburn. And what the people of Goulburn and Lancashire called the bank, which was the slag heap, all the excess coal that wasn't good enough to sell, the Welshmen called it the bonk, which is how they talk. It's more their accent to say bonk rather than bank. And there's a little bit of gentle ribbing. All the people of Goulburn now call it the bonk. But does digging down 600 yards and then digging outwards for 4 miles have any effect on the surface? Well, yes, it does. Let's bimble.
Measures dripping from a seal black sky, soaking up this perfect treasure. I know it's right. Moods can be lifted the brighter the day. Take the blue skies and I'll take the grey. It's up to the weather, you know that I surely would say she loves them. You can love the warm, that's okay. You can love the sun in every way. You can love the breeze and blow away. She loves the rain. She loves them. She loves the rain.
This is Pennington Flash, and you may remember a couple of videos ago, in my Blackpool 2 video, I said that Lancashire only had 2 natural lakes. That would be Haweswater in Silverdale and Marton Mere in Blackpool. And just because I'm sat in front of this great expanse of water, it doesn't make that statement any less true. Pennington Flash behind me is man-made. All those mines at Goulburn and Bickershaw and all along the Wigan branch of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal and the Bridgewater Canal created great voids underneath the earth. And over time the earth is sinking into those voids. And behind me, Pennington Flash is one of those voids that is sinking. On the Ordnance Survey map of 1893, it was only listed as liable to flood. It didn't even have the name Pennington Flash yet, because it was just a patch of land that would be bone dry in the summer and fill up with water in the winter. But by the 1920s, they'd had to move 2 farms away from the area because they kept flooding, and the Flash was getting deeper and deeper. In 1951, they created a weir to equalise out the level of the Flash, meaning that it wouldn't go dry in the summer and it wouldn't overflow and flood people's houses in the winter. And since then, it's become a nice place for the people of Goulburn and Lee to walk the dogs and bring the kids out. They have a sailing club. You may be able to see loads and loads of boats behind me. They also have a swimming club where you can go wild swimming in the middle of the Flash. Recently it was used as an art gallery. A 10-metre wide depiction of planet Earth was floating around in the middle of it, and it was by an artist called Luke Jerram, and it was supposed to give you the feeling that the astronauts have when they're floating above Earth. But unfortunately we had some rather biblical weather, 40-mile-an-hour hurricanes, and it had to be cut short so the world wouldn't blow away. Wigan's famous for its flashes. There's the Westwood Flash, the Scotsman's Flash, and the Pearson's Flash, to name but a few. It's all bonking and flashing this week.